What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. In this video, I'll be taking you through my team selection for the upcoming Game Week 2. So now that Game Week 1 has finally concluded in the transfer plan on Monday, we still had that Spurs game coming up. So I'm going to start off this video by giving you guys an update on the overall points since every player has now featured. Then I'm going to turn my attention to the transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 2, where we might be forced to make a transfer due to current injury news. Then finally, I'll be going through my team selection, and the big talk of the town this week is the triple captaincy, so I'll show you guys if I'm actually going to be using the chip. So if that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So going over a quick review of how Game Week 1 ended, don't worry, I won't be going over every single player, I did that in the transfer plan, so go check that out if you guys want to. Now we did have 2 players still to feature from that transfer plan video. The first player was Winks, who got 2 points, but he's going to remain on our bench. The second more important player was going to be Pedro Porro, who scored a massive 9 points. No, this wasn't a clean sheet plus 3 bonus, he actually scored a goal. Now with Pedro Porro, the usual from last season is going to be true this season. We don't own him for the clean sheets, we own him for the attacking returns, as that Spurs defense doesn't look too secure. But nevertheless, 9 points is absolutely insane, and that took us to a total of 67, which was 10 points above the average. So very respectable Game Week 1, and you guys might be wondering what my overall rank is, but I'm here to tell you it literally doesn't matter. This is one game week of 38. So I mentioned this in the transfer plan, but I think kind of around Game Week 10 is probably the first time I'll look at my rank, as the points are so volatile over the opening couple game weeks. So once again, if you guys have had a bad week, have had a good week, don't put too much emphasis on it, but if we can continue to be above the average, I'll be pretty happy with where we finish in Game Week 38. So don't tell me what rank you guys are at, rather tell me how many points you guys scored in Game Week 1, drop them in the comments down below. I've seen some massive scores mainly around that Salah captaincy, but also some pretty low scores, but I'm sure that'll improve in Game Week 2. So let's go over the quick review of how the rest of the team did. As you guys can see, the bench at the moment is pretty bad. Harwood-Bellis with 1 point, Ben Johnson with 0, and Bentley with 0. At least you have some defensive coverage with Harwood-Bellis, and I do think Johnson now will play with the injury to his colleague. And then you have some midfielder coverage with Winks, but he'll probably only get 2 points every single game week. So it literally was all about our starting 11, and our goalkeeper and defense, mainly our defense, came in clutch, as Henderson only got 2 points. So probably a little bit of an expectation there. Brentford away isn't the easiest game, and he conceded 2 but got a save point. But Trent and Gabriel added to our full house of defensive returns, Trent with a clean sheet and some bonus. Now under Slot seems like he's going to continue to be a main threat in that Liverpool team, so super happy that I chose him in my Game Week 1 squad. Then with Gabriel, 6 points is always appreciated. The only annoying thing was Guardiola getting an extra bonus when the game week ended, and that just refers to the new rule that the bonus points are only finalized in the last game of the game week. So that does push Guardiola to be a better option than Gabriel for Game Week 1, and with those upcoming Man City fixtures, I might regret going for the Arsenal centre-back. So at least our defenders did come in clutch as mentioned, or getting returns. Just wish that Henderson got a few more points. Now moving on to midfield department, definitely was carried by Saka as well as Jota, whereas Eze blanked as well as Nkunku. Now I was super happy with the Saka performance because at a cheaper price point, to keep up with Salah is definitely massive, and overall had a great performance with that Arsenal team. Now with Jota, his points per kind of million were better than Salah's slightly, so I'm still pretty happy that I went for him and have him as my Liverpool coverage. Now Darwin got no minutes in Game Week 1, and even better, Jota scored and therefore should be the main striker, but it's probably a matter of time before we see some rotation. Now with Eze, you guys know the controversy of that referee whistle on the free kick, but besides that, had a very good performance and took a load of shots. Then with Nkunku, all eyes will be on tonight's fixture. Whether Nkunku plays or not, don't you know what agenda to push, but all you guys have to know in Game Week 1 is that he came off before 60 minutes. So definitely not what you guys want to see, but I mean when he was subbed off, Enzo became the 10, which is quite a strange decision from the manager. So let's hope that he does kind of redeem himself in these future game weeks, as those Chelsea fixtures are so hard to ignore. Now up front, we also had some good returners, Erling Haaland with a goal and some bonus, in a tougher game on paper against Chelsea. Then our captain Isaac only got an assist in this game, but that was plenty considering the fact that Newcastle had 10 men from the first half. Quite hard to predict that a team's going to get a red card at the end of the day. So kind of wish that Isaac did score more points and was closer to Salah, but he was the main captain in Game Week 1. Then finally with Muniz, was disappointed that he was outperformed by Chris Wood, but happy that he matched Dom Solanke, as those were his two rivals. Now I guess against United, I was expecting a little bit more. It is a tougher game on paper, but Fulham had some chances, but as you would have seen in the Ultimate Guide, didn't put up a whole bunch of XG. But it is from Game Week 2 onwards that I did pick Muniz, so let's see how he performs in the future game weeks. But that's going to conclude our starting 11, and as mentioned, 67 points. In the comments down below, how many points did you guys score, and were you happy with your decisions in your Game Week 1 team? Now moving on to the transfer plan for the upcoming game week, and as mentioned in the introduction, we might be forced to make a transfer because of the current injury news. And that news revolves around Pedro Porro at 5.5 million, and as of recording this video, we've had literally no news about him. So that could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing, but the good news is that Ange is pretty transparent in his press conferences, and that's going to come up either today or tomorrow. So I'm pretty positive about getting an update about Pedro Porro before the game week, but if he is out even for game week 2, I probably will take him out. The reason for this is that you guys have seen my bench, it's pretty low, and I was expecting to start Pedro Porro every single game week. Now when you guys do look at the fixtures though, Newcastle away and Arsenal at home in the next 3, can't really say I was expecting too many points from him in those 2 fixtures. So it might be a little bit of a blessing if we do go for an option that outperforms him, but if he is fit, I'm perfectly fine just holding him. Now in terms of replacements, I kind of need to go for an option that's going to be a mainstay, basically plays every single game week, and I just wish I had an extra 0.5 for Guardiola. But unfortunately I don't, I've got no money in the bank, and therefore I might have to go for a cheaper Man City defender, someone like a Ruben Diaz who should be pretty nailed. Now just look at those next 3, Ipswich, West Ham and Brentford, great fixtures on the cards. Then we have that reverse of the Arsenal-Newcastle games. Now Ruben Diaz might be slightly less attacking than someone like a Guardiola, but offers that clean sheet threat still. And I want to slice of that Man City defense because they also look pretty solid. Now out of the other Man City defenders, you guys can go for Rico Lewis, but he might be a rotation risk. He does come in cheaper though if you guys want to go there. Now other kind of expensive options might even be a straight swap for someone like an Udogie. I don't really think I'll be going for another Spurs defender though, with that Newcastle and Arsenal game shortly on the horizon, but he is quite similar to Pedro Porro. Another option, Munoz at 5.0 million from Crystal Palace, but now that my boy Anderson has left the club, I'm slightly worried about that defensive stability. I also own Henderson at the moment, so not too keen on a double up, so that's why Ruben Diaz ticks a lot of boxes. Now the other alternative is to just simply go for a 4.5 that's a lot cheaper. I can then use that money in the bank to upgrade my bench if need be, and my 4.5 of choice at the moment is Robinson from Fulham. So just mention that Anderson has just signed for Fulham, that should increase their defensive stability, and Robinson, it looks like he's getting forward. Now over the next 3, Leicester, Ipswich and West Ham, great fixtures, but if you guys watch the Ultimate Guide, did concede a lot of XG to United. So I guess it depends on how highly you do rate that United attack, but I guess he is 4.5 and rather cheap. Now other than Robinson, a whole bunch of 4.5s that you guys can look at. You guys know though, I always like to go for a fullback, as they do offer more attacking threat. So this transfer is heavily dependent though on injury news. If we get news that Porro is back in training, I'm perfectly fine keeping him, but if he is out injured even for 1 week, I'll probably be taking him out. You guys can let me know your own transfer plans in the comments down below, or my Discord server link in the description. If you guys are looking to take out Pedro Porro, who's your favorite replacement, or is there another transfer on your mind at the moment? But now going over the team selection for the upcoming game week, I'm going to keep the transfer in the back pocket so Porro will be in this lineup. So let's run through the team. On the bench though, pretty much kind of picks itself. Bentley, Winks, Harwood Bellis and Johnson. At least Winks and Harwood Bellis have better fixtures if we need them off the bench. Almost hope that Harwood Bellis keeps a clean sheet against Chris Wood, as it was him or Muniz for my Game Week 1 team. Now starting in goal is going to be Henderson against the West Ham team that put up a ton of XG in Game Week 1. Quite impressive against Aston Villa. Now with Anderson leaving the club, I am worried about that defense. Let's just hope that Henderson get a few save points, as I'm not super confident about the clean sheet. Now back 3 is exactly the same. It's Trent against Brentford at home, good chance of a clean sheet from the probability, and you guys know Trent loves to get forward. Was quite happy in Game Week 1 to see that Underslot looks like he's going to still be a playmaker, so let's see what Liverpool can do in Game Week 2. The next up is going to be Gabriel against Aston Villa away. Would much rather prefer Guardiola against Ipswich at home, but it is what it is. Now there's still a good chance I feel for Arsenal to keep a clean sheet, but like West Ham, Aston Villa also put up a ton of XG. Maybe a cheeky goal or header could be here, but definitely a tough game on paper. In the final defender, Pedro Porro, now you guys can see why I want to keep him. Everton at home is a great fixture, didn't really see them clicking from an attacking point of view in game week 1. So if he does start, definitely defensive threat and attacking threat, the best combination for a defender. Just all eyes will be on that Ange press conference either on Thursday or Friday to get the latest update. Fingers crossed that he's back fit. Then midfield department, Saka also against Aston Villa, pretty confident in this fixture actually. As mentioned, West Ham put up a ton of XG against Aston Villa, but they could play more negatively as this is against Arsenal. Still though, it is a home game for Aston Villa, so I think they'll be pretty attacking, and I expect Saka to kind of capitalize on that. Unfortunately though, won't be a captain consideration, as I do prefer a certain striker, but let's just hope that he matches Salah against Brentford at home. Then Eze with a chance to redeem the lack of points in game week 1, still feels like a massive talisman for Crystal Palace. So fingers crossed, no dodgy referee decisions in this game, and let's hope that Eze cooks. Then finally Nkunku, all eyes on that fixture tonight. As mentioned, is it a good or bad thing if Nkunku starts though? I just hope for some good signs ahead of game week 2. But still, I'm going to hold him, let's see what happens in game week 2. If he is benched or gets rotated early, he might be a sell, but worth taking the punt on those Chelsea fixtures. Then with Jota, pretty confident that he will start up front unless he's injured, and Liverpool projected to score a massive amount of goals in game week 2. I probably would say the projections are a bit higher than I would predict, but I expect Liverpool and hopefully Jota to score against Brentford. So the midfield department does look pretty good. Yes, there's no Mo Salah, so hopefully Jota does cover him, but that's probably not going to happen. Now up front, the big decision this week is whether to triple captain Erling Haaland. For me, it's not even a question about Kamsi though. If you guys own him, captain him. Ipswich at home, there's not many better fixtures. Now at the current moment, I probably would say I'm 60-40 to not using the triple captain, and therefore I've just got the single captain on him. Now I do 100% understand if you guys do want to go there. As mentioned, I'm very close to using it. I just always prefer a double game week. But let me know in the comments down below, any of you guys actually using the triple captain. If it bangs, your overall rank is going to look so good. But nothing more needs to be said. As mentioned, if you guys do own him, I would captain him. If you don't, captain Mo Salah, as the projections are surprisingly close between these two teams. Then Isaac against Bournemouth, I just hope that they play with 11 men for a full 90, as Isaac still look pretty good with 10 men. Now Bournemouth away is still a pretty strong fixture. I expect Newcastle and Isaac to do pretty well, so this might be the game week that we should have gone for the captaincy. Then the final option, Muniz against Leicester at home. You guys can see why I picked him. Leicester and Ipswich back to back. Let's hope he outperforms Chris Wood as well as Solanke. Might be a tall ask there, but I think it could be a possibility. All I need him to do is do well in this fixture, because then he'll start game week 3 as well. Slightly worried about Raul Jimenez in the wings potentially starting, but I think it's Muniz's spot to lose at the moment. So let's hope Muniz absolutely bangs, and that's going to conclude our starting 11. Game week 2 should hopefully be quite a high scoring affair. As mentioned though, one transfer potentially on Pedro Porro if he is out injured, but if he is back, the team looks absolutely stacked. The triple Kamsi could be activated. I could maybe sway to it. We can talk about that in the deadline stream coming up 1 hour before the deadline. Hopefully I see you guys there. Now if you guys have any transfer plans that you want to discuss, drop them in the comments down below on my Discord server. Link in the description, and I'll try to help you guys out. Otherwise, make sure that you guys follow all the press conference news coming up today and tomorrow, and fingers crossed no surprise injuries. But this is basically a wrap for the video guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you didn't subscribe if you have subscribed yet. Notifications on for that deadline stream when I do go live. Hopefully I see you guys there. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers, bye.